Esaena el Heharim, Me'ayin Yavo Ezri. Esaena el Heharim, Me'ayin Yavo Ezri. Ezri Me'im Adonai Oseh Shamayim Va'aretz. Ezri Me'im Adonai Oseh Shamayim Va'aretz. Ha'iten lamod raglecha, Hayanum shomrecha. Hine lo yanum velo ishan, shomer Yisrael. Adonai Shomrecha, Adonai Tzilcha, Ayad Yeminecha. Adonai Shomrecha, Adonai Tzilcha, Ayad Yeminecha. Yomam Hashemesh lo yakeka, ve'yareach balayla. Adonai yishmorcha mikora, yishmor et nafshecha. Adonai yishmor tzedcha uvoecha, me'ata ve'ad olam. Adonai yishmor tzedcha uvoecha, me'ata ve'ad olam. Mekoma tavo v'shalom. Mourning is a time filled with many emotions, some bitter, some sweet. It is our practice in Jewish tradition to begin with the chanting and recitation of a psalm. In this way we link the life and existence of our beloved to 4,000 years of Jewish tradition, the people of Israel, and the eternity of God. Psalm 121, Shir Lama'alot, a song for those who ascend. I turn my eyes to the mountains. From where will my help come? My help comes from Adonai, from God, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way, your guardian will not slumber. You see, the guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God is your guardian, your protection at your right hand. By day the sun will not strike you, nor the moon by night. God will guard you from all harm. God will guard your life. God will guard your going and coming, now and forever. May our beloved go unto God in peace. Hatzor tamim paulo ki chol rachav nishpat el emunah ve'inav el tzadik v'yashar hu. Tzadik ataronai laminu lachayot asher biyadcha begadon kol ruchot chalil lecha zichronenu limchot v'yiyu nainecha v'rachamim aleinu fekuchot ki lecha adon harachamim v'haslichot. Adonai natan v'Adonai lakach, Yehi Shem Adonai mevorach. God has given, God has taken. Blessed be the name of God. V'hu rachum yechaper avon v'lo yashchid, v'hirba lashiv apo v'lo yirkol chamato, v'yashov he'afar ala haaretz shehaya, v'haruach tashuv el Elohim asher netana. The dust returns to the earth as it was, but the spirit returns to God who gave it. May our beloved soul be bound up in the bond of life eternal, and may God send comfort to those who mourn, and grant strength to those whose burden is sorrow. Thank you everyone for being here and braving the elements on a cold day. Thank you to everyone who has tuned into our broadcast of the service as well. We thank you from wherever you are for joining your hearts together with those who are in mourning. We have come here today to honor Gita Glass, Gita bat Leah, as she was known by her Hebrew name, the daughter of Leah Rudenko, Zichrona Livracha, of blessed memory. We are here today to pay tribute to her life, and we are here to say goodbye. For it is the highest form of respect in Jewish tradition to accompany our loved ones to their final resting place, as we have done this afternoon. Gita passed away on Wednesday, the 13th day in the Hebrew month of Kislev. She was 85. She is honored and remembered lovingly by her daughter Marlene and her husband Randy, and grandchildren and their partners, Jessica and Robert, Joshua and Meredith, and Leah. Gita was predeceased by her mother, Leah Rudenko, and by her daughter, Rhonda. Though I never had the opportunity to meet and get to know Gita Glass, I have had the opportunity to spend time with her family, for which I'm quite thankful, and I have been able to learn quite a bit about her in a short time. It is my honor to deliver the hesped, the eulogy, at this afternoon's service. To begin with, I would say I've learned that Gita Glass was a special breed of woman. She was unique, one of a kind. Her family described her as fun, and from the stories they've told me, I would add she sounds like she had a fiery spirit. She was spunky, with an upbeat attitude and a positive energy. She was funny, often because she had no filter. She'd say whatever was on her mind, even if it may offend people who were within earshot. She just didn't care. For example, when she talked about being a teacher, how she could only teach as high as grade 4 because that was as far as she could handle math. Nothing higher than grade 4 math for Gita. Or when she'd talk about shopping and clothes, one of her passions, she'd say anyone can buy nice clothes, but a schmuck will always be a schmuck no matter what he's wearing. Or when she'd see signs for a baby sale on one of her shopping trips and turn to Marlene and wonder out loud, do you have any babies left? But she also had a sweetness about her, a truly kind heart. She cared about people. She would always stop mothers and new babies who passed her on the street to smile, bend down, and say hello. And she opened her home for holidays time and time again to anyone she knew who needed a place to go. She devoted much of her time to volunteer efforts, delivering Meals on Wheels, working as the recreation coordinator for the Golden Age Club, taking part in a special fashion show to raise money for cancer care. To say Gita Glass had an interesting childhood would be an understatement. She grew up in Montreal, where she was raised by her mother, Leah, a single mother, who instilled in her a sense of strength and independence from an early age. She was also very close with her Baba, her mother's mother, another strong female role model in her life. Gita's mom was the nurse at Maimonides, a hospital and home for the aged in Montreal, much like the Simpkin Center or Shaftesbury, or a combination here in Winnipeg. Gita lived with her mother on site in one of the rooms at Maimonides. She took her meals in the Maimonides dining hall and would reflect that she had 100 Babas and Zedas growing up. Of course, all the residents who lived there. Montreal was where she studied and became a teacher, as we discussed earlier. She worked for a while in the Jewish school system in Montreal, teaching elementary in a bilingual school. Montreal is also where she became a mother, first to Rhonda and then to Marlene, her daughters. After a 4-year stint in Ottawa, Gita and her family ended up in Winnipeg. As a mother, she was truly wonderful. She did everything she could for her daughters, often on her own. Even if money were tight, she made sure her daughters had whatever they needed and never wanted for anything. Marlene will tell you, as she got older, her mother became more and more like a friend, a confidant, someone who was always there, someone she could depend on, someone she could always talk to about anything. Their regular phone calls were something Marlene always looked forward to, and something special she will cherish all her life. Gita Glass was also very strong. She possessed a strong will to live. She overcame tragedy and death in her life on more occasions than she should have had to. She lost husbands. She lost her daughter. She battled and beat cancer not once but twice in the last 15 years. Her will to live is truly inspirational. She stayed active while she could, enjoying water aerobics and trips to the gym at the Rady Center well into her 70s. She took tremendous pride in her appearance. She loved getting her hair done with the signature poof. She boasted about her skin, her genetic lottery she won. No wrinkles, always so soft. She was so proud of her skin and would remark how Marlene had inherited that gift from her. She also never went anywhere or took a photo without reapplying her trademark red lipstick. One of her greatest passions, which ties in to her pride in appearance, was to shop. Some might say she was a shopaholic. Shopping was the answer if she ever felt down or needed a pick-me-up. For clothes, for shoes, even if she didn't need, she truly made her happy. As a kid, she only got hand-me-downs for new clothes, so she loved being able to buy name brands for herself, especially if she sniffed out a good sale or deal. And she was always a very social person. She had to leave behind a whole life and friends when she left Montreal, but she found her way in Winnipeg and formed special friendships, some that lasted over 40 years. Her love of reading led her to join book clubs. She played mahjong and bridge and made great friends through both. She especially loved to dance and never missed a chance to dance during her years at the Shaftesbury, no matter who her partner was. Gita would joke, in her own brand of humor, that men found her throughout her life, but she was able to enjoy and delight in a number of very meaningful and special romantic relationships. To David Glass, Zichrono Livracha, of blessed memory, and then to Ralph Sodolov, Zichrono Livracha, also of blessed memory. With Ralph, Gita enjoyed 20 years of wonderful companionship until he passed in 2019. They were the cutest couple, always holding hands, so happy together. Ralph had boundless patience for her and would make her breakfast every morning. They spent winter after winter in Palm Springs for years, and even just recently, only a few years ago, shared an adventurous trip to Colombia, along with Ralph's son Howard. Traveling was something that Gita got to enjoy, even from an early age, with trips to Florida. She visited Mexico and was proud to say she visited Israel twice. It was in her role as a Baba where we could argue Gita really truly shone and thrived. She adored her grandkids. They were her pride and joy. She spoiled them at every possible opportunity, always treating them to popcorn and other snacks anytime she'd take them to a movie. They had inside jokes between them, funny faces they'd make at each other, little phrases or sayings, like Baba's honey bun. She loved having her grandkids over for sleepovers, even if she would complain after the fact that they ate her out of house and home. But most importantly, she was active in their lives. She always wanted to help out, wherever she could, and often did with big expenses. Education, braces. She always wanted to help, and she did. Here's something Jessica, Gita's granddaughter, wrote that she wanted me to read on her behalf. Baba, you were the best Baba anyone could ask for. You taught me about love and life, and you had a smile that could brighten an entire room. Your energy was so uplifting. Your love was so known to everyone around you. You had the best sense of humor. We shared so many jokes and laughs together. You were one of the strongest women I knew, and even at the very end, you were a fighter and a survivor. You beat breast cancer years ago. You never stopped fighting. But now you can rest. May you not be in any pain and be free with all the angels. I will love and honor you forever. I love you with a passion and to the moon and back, like you always told me. You will never be forgotten. Thank you. In Jewish tradition, we say death is better than a life of pain and eternal rest is better than a constant sickness. I echo Jessica's sentiment in that in the final years, Gita did suffer and had to fight through pain. It is our hope as a family and community that she rests in peace. And now I will share one final thought from the poet Chana Senish. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. Eternal God, Master of Mercy, give us the gift of remembering. May our memories of our loved one be tender and true, undiminished by time. Let us recall her and love her as she was. Shelter us with the gift of tears. Let us express our sense of loss, our sorrow, our pain, as well as our love, and even words unspoken. Bless us with the gift of prayer, that we may face you with an open heart, with trusting faith, unembarrassed, unashamed. Strengthen us with the gift of hope, that we may always believe in the beauty of life, in the power of goodness, and in our right to joy. May we surrender our being and the soul of our loved one to your all-knowing compassion. On behalf of Gita Glass, it is my honor to chant the El Malei Rachamim prayer, the traditional Jewish memorial prayer. El Malei Rachamim Shochein B'Meromim Hamitzei Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei Hashchina B'malot Kedoshim Uteorim Kezohar Arakia Mazirim and Nishmat Gita Bat Leah Shelcha Leolama Began, Eden Tehei Meduchata, Anabal Harachamim, Hasirei Abesetek, Enafecha Leolamim, Utzror V'Yitzror HaChaim Nishmata, Adonai Hu Nachalata V'Tanuach B'Shalom Al Mishkava V'Nomar Amen. Exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and the pure to the soul of Gita Glass, Gita Bat Leah, who has gone to her eternal home. Merciful One, we ask that she find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May her soul be bound up in the bond of life. May she rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. Thank you again for the honor of being here today. Thank you to everyone for tuning in and for those of you who are here. And thank you especially to our pallbearers, volunteers from our community, who made it possible for us to have a complete service. Thank you very much. In a moment, we will conclude with the recitation of the Mourner's Kaddish, and then I'll invite the family to lead us in shoveling earth into the grave. Just a note on that, please be careful as it is very icy. When it comes to shoveling earth, there are different customs. Most people pour 3 shovelfuls. Some people use the front of the shovel, some people use the back. Some people pass the shovel to the next person. Some people return it to the earth as if reluctant to burden the next person. After the family begins, there are shovels on both sides. There's also a small pail here, in case you don't want to use one of the big shovels, but there's a small shovel with earth inside that pail that you can use the same. Shoveling earth is very powerful. It completes what we talked about at the beginning, that the highest form of respect in our tradition is to accompany our loved ones to their final resting place and bury them ourselves. We believe strongly in Judaism that our loved ones deserve to be buried by our own hands, kind, knowing, sorrowful hands, hands that once held their hands. It's a painful act for sure, but it is also a mitzvah, a righteous act, a selfless act we do without any hope of reward. An act born of love and compassion for someone who meant so much to her family, to her friends, and to the people who knew her. Earlier in the service we said, and I'll say again, the words of Job, the epitome of suffering in Jewish tradition. Adonai natan v'Adonai lakach, Yehi Shem Adonai mevarach. God has given, God has taken, blessed be the name of God. May the memory of Gita Glass be for a blessing, as we mark that her essence will never leave our hearts and our souls. The Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabah, Be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabah Mevorach le'alam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal Shemei dekudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom bimromav, Huya Aseh Shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May the one who creates peace and harmony on high bring peace and harmony to us, to all Israel, to all of humanity. And together let us say, Amen. To the family I offer these words of tradition and comfort. Hamakom yinachem echem b'toch sha'ar avelei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May you be comforted and consoled among all those who have been or who are in mourning in our community. Thank you again to our pallbearers. Thank you again to those watching. Thank you again to those who are here. I invite invite the family now to come forward.